Tecrapo, Peru. A village isolated by the towering peaks of the Andes, where in 1933, a story began that would challenge the very boundaries of human biology and modern ethics. In the 1930s, the Huancavelica region was a world apart from the modernization of Lima. Poverty was deep-seated, and modern medicine was a luxury of the distant city. Lina Medina, a local silversmith, and his wife Victoria first noticed the anomaly when Lina was just 5. Her abdomen was swelling rapidly, and her body was changing in impossible ways. Without doctors, the family turned to local shamans. The villagers whispered of evil spirits, and Apu, the mountain spirits, believing the child was cursed. Fearing a massive tumor, Tiburello made a desperate choice. He carried his daughter down the rugged mountain trails to the coastal town of Pisco, seeking the help of modern science. At the local beneficencia, they expected a diagnosis that would save her life. They believed they were facing a medical crisis, but the truth was more shocking than any tumor. There, they met Dr. Gerardo Lozada. His examination would leave him, and eventually the entire world, in a state of absolute disbelief. The case was unprecedented. The tumor Dr. Lozada found had a heartbeat. Lina Medina, just 5 years and 7 months old, was 7 months pregnant. Modern medicine had no precedent for this. Dr. Lozada rushed Lina to the capital, Lima. Specialists from the Academy of Medicine gathered, their deep skepticism soon turning to awe as they confirmed the diagnosis. The cause was precocious puberty, a rare condition that had triggered Lina's sexual maturation years earlier than anything previously recorded in medical history. Prominent researcher Dr. Edmundo Escamel documented the case. His investigation suggested that Lina had exhibited signs of maturity since she was only 8 months old. By age 4, her physical development was that of a mature woman. She was biologically an adult, trapped within the frame and height of a small 5-year-old child. On May 14, 1939, Mother's Day in Peru, the world watched as Lina was prepared for a surgery that would define her life and haunt her for decades. A cesarean section was the only path forward. Doctors Lozada, Busalao, and Coloreda performed the historic operation, delivering a healthy 6-pound baby boy. Lina named the boy Gerardo, in honor of the doctor who had saved them both. He was a lusty, well-formed infant, a biological miracle born of a human tragedy. In the United States, the news was met with profound skepticism. Many in the American Medical Association initially suspected a sophisticated and elaborate hoax, but the evidence was absolute. Birth certificates and bone age x-rays confirmed that Lina was precisely 5 years, 7 months, and 21 days old. The debate was over. Lina's face was on every front page from Lima to London. She was sensationalized as a miracle child, though her reality was far from miraculous. The media circus was immense. Hollywood studios offered fortunes, thousands of dollars, for the rights to her story, a sum that could have changed her family's life. But the Peruvian government intervened. They placed the family under state protection, fearing Lina would be exploited as a sideshow attraction in international fairs. Behind the sensation, a dark investigation was underway. The question of the father's identity was a legal and moral crisis for the authorities in Lima. Her father, Tiburello, was arrested on suspicion of incest. The remote village culture and even traditional festivals were scrutinized by the police for any evidence. He was eventually released due to a complete lack of evidence. Lina, a traumatized child of 5, could not, or perhaps would not, identify her attacker. The identity of the father remains one of the most enduring unsolved criminal mysteries of the 20th century, a secret that would remain buried forever. Gerardo's childhood was built on a complex illusion. He was raised to believe that Lina was his older sister, not his biological mother. The truth was hidden. American psychologists noted a heart-wrenching reality. Lina often preferred playing with her dolls to tending to her son, whom she viewed as a younger brother. The truth finally surfaced when Gerardo was 10 years old. Taunts from schoolmates who had heard the legend of his birth forced the family to reveal the secret. Despite the shock, Gerardo was described as an intelligent and resilient young man. He led a relatively stable life, shielded by those who cared for the family. As he reached his teenage years in the 1950s, Gerardo developed a deep fascination with electronics, finding a sense of logic in the circuits of the era. Dr. Lozada remained their primary benefactor. He provided Gerardo with an education and employed Lina as a secretary in his clinic for many years. In the early 1970s, Lina married Raul Gerardo. It was a chance for a new chapter of peace, far from the prying eyes of the global press. 33 years after her first son was born, Lina gave birth to her second, a family dynamic that few could truly comprehend or imagine. They lived in relative obscurity in a modest housing project. Despite her fame, the family struggled financially, receiving no aid from the state. But tragedy struck again in 1979. Gerardo developed a rare bone marrow disease, a battle that modern medicine, once again, could not win. Gerardo Medina passed away at 40. He died without ever knowing the identity of his biological father, a silent participant in a story that challenged biology. Since his death, Lina has retreated further from the world. She has consistently refused all interviews, guarding her privacy with a resolute iron will. In 2002, she famously turned down a major Reuters request. Her silence is the final testament to the trauma that has defined her 9 decades. Today, her case is a staple of medical literature. It serves as the ultimate case study in the power and the deep tragedy of precocious puberty. Gerardo's life served as the final proof to a skeptical medical community that Lina's pregnancy was a reality, not a hoax of the 1930s. Modern analysis frames the case not as a miracle, but as a severe tragedy of child abuse enabled by a rare and cruel biological anomaly. Even with the advent of DNA testing in the 1980s, the identity of the father remains hidden. Lina has never allowed the tests that might solve the mystery. Lina Medina is now over 90 years old. She lives a quiet life in Peru, the oldest living witness to her own impossible and tragic history. Her story remains the most profound medical anomaly in history, a reminder of a dark mystery that science can explain, but justice never could. A century of silence, a lifetime of secrets, and a biological miracle that the world will never forget. This is the legacy of Lina Medina. Thank you for watching this deep dive into history. If you found this story compelling, like and subscribe for more incredible true stories from history.